Hey, what's going on, guys? My name is Ippei. Today I'm going to be reacting to Ali Abdaal passive income ideas video. A little bit about me. I started building different online businesses back in 2014. And yeah, I do make passive income each and every day. I have websites that I ranked in Google. For example, this is a tree care site in Grand Rapids, Michigan. This site makes me $2,000 each and every month. It's been making me $2,000 every month since 2015. This is how I initially got started with creating passive income on the internet, is creating these local lead generation websites, these websites that generate leads for local services like your plumber, cleaners, tree care companies, towing companies. I still think this is one of the best ways to get started on the internet with passive income. I eventually started my own blog, Ippei.com. I know what I'm talking about when I'm talking about like online businesses, and I'm curious to see what Ali has to say about different online business models or different ways that he has of like how to make passive income on the internet. And I will give you guys my thoughts and pros and cons of each different model.
Hey friends, welcome back to the channel. In this video, we're going to talk about 9 different ways that you can make passive income. And for each of those, I'm going to talk about how hard it is to get started, how hard it is to make $100 a month from it, and how hard it is to maintain once you've created the thing in the first place. For me and my business, these 9 different sources generate around $27,000 per week these days with varying degrees of passiveness. And obviously this has taken me like 8 years to build up, so don't expect to be hitting those sorts of numbers when you first get started. But this is the video that I wish I would have had when I started my financial independence journey many years ago. Let's go for it. All right, so when I say passive income, I always air quote it because there is really no such thing as passive income. There is no way to make money without doing anything at all. But when I say passive income, what I mean is that it's money that is not directly tied to our time. So let's say you were to write a book. If you write a book, you publish a book, that book is now in bookshelves. You've done the work once to write and publish the book, but now anytime the book sells, you make money from royalties. That is passive income. You could literally be making money while you sleep because you've created this thing which is out in the world, which is generating income for you. The other thing with passive income is that it always takes a very long time to get going. So if you see any ads before this video,
that's a pretty basic definition of passive income. For me, another word for passive income is creating leveraged income. So basically, instead of trading your time for dollars like you would if you're an employee for a company, you spend your time creating assets that go out there and make money for you. Or you spend your time managing other people, human capital. These other people that work for you, they go out there and make money for you. And even when you're not working, the people that you've trained are out there making money for your business or your company. They're still managing that you're doing, but you're still making money while you're not having to work every single hour of the day. There are things that are even more truly passive, which are actually leveraging media and code, which I'll get into in this video. But if you leverage websites or video content that you film one time, and that can go out there and make money for you continuously, that's even more passive than managing people.
Video talking about how you can get rich quick by whatever scheme, or if you see people in the comments pretending to be me saying, oh my god, here's how you can get rich quick with crypto, WhatsApp this number, that is all a scam. It's not going to work. There is no way to get rich quick. It is not a thing. So if you're looking for a get rich quick scheme, those things just don't exist. So you might as well not even try.
Get rich quick schemes do exist, but they don't exist long term. So whenever money is really easy and quick to make, it's not going to last long term. It's like a scheme. So it tends to be like a MLM or like a crypto, and it only lasts for a very short while and until everybody starts doing that quick thing. Because if it's too easy and quick for anybody else to do, soon enough, so many people are going to be doing it, it becomes saturated, and then the opportunity dies.
And the way I think of this is that ultimately money is just a medium for exchanging value. The only way to make money is to provide value. And the only way to make passive income, passive money, is to provide value in a way that is not directly tied to your time. So please do not try and join a get rich quick scheme. They don't exist. I've had lots of messages over the years from people who have tried signing up to a get rich quick crypto scheme or a gambling scheme or a, hey, here's how you play poker online. None of these things ever work. People always end up losing money. The only way to make money is by providing value. And so let's talk about the 9 different ways that you could provide value.
Those get rich quick scheme only work for the people that came up with the scheme. So it's people that created those like scam coins and used hype to bolster the NFT or coin up to a really high number, and then they made a bunch of quick money, right? It doesn't mean the quick money doesn't exist. It's just, it exists for people that actually came up with a strategy and a plan to make a scheme. Oftentimes it's unethical and it's a scam.
If you wanted to. Just before we dive in, I want to tell you that I've just launched my brand new Skillshare class about productivity for creators, how to start a successful side hustle. That's linked in the video description. Skillshare is sponsoring this video. I'll tell you more about Skillshare later on, but I want to plug my own class because I think it's genuinely really good and people really...
So just my 2 thoughts on productivity. Your physical health is one of the biggest factors to productivity. If you don't feel good in your body with your health, then you're not going to have good productivity. Also, you need to surround yourself with people that are thinking on a high level, that are continually going to motivate you. And also, you need the right strategy that returns a high ROI of money for your time, so you can actually get excited about making money and being productive.
Like it, and it'll help you get tips on how you can start side hustles in your spare time. Anyway, let's get into the video. All right, so let's kick things off with investing in stocks and shares. And in this context, the way that we provide value is by offering up our money. Providing money and investing in a service is, in a way, giving a form of value. And so when we give our money to a company in the form of buying their stocks, it makes sense that we would get some kind of return for that investment. And we're starting with this because investing in stocks is the easiest way to make any kind of passive income. If you have any sorts of savings and they're sitting in a savings account earning 0.01% interest, they're not.
The problem with this strategy is most people that are starting out, they don't have any significant amount of money to make any significant amount of passive income with stocks, and you don't have that much control.
Doing very much for you. Whereas if you had those savings and put them in stocks, you could potentially be earning passive income from the money that's otherwise just sitting there. Now, I've got a whole video called The Ultimate Guide to Investing in Stocks and Shares for Beginners, which is going to be linked over there somewhere. So that is a solid half an hour long introduction to stocks and exactly how they work. But the thing that I recommend for most beginners as a non-financial advisor, and this is not financial advice, purely for entertainment purposes only, or so people say, or at least the thing that I do is that basically all my money that's in stocks and shares is invested in index funds. Now, an index fund is something like the S&P 500. And when you invest, let's say $1,000 in the S&P 500, that basically means that your $1,000 is distributed amongst the top 500 biggest companies in the US, weighted by how big they are. So 2% of it would be in Apple, 2% in Facebook, 2% in Google, 2% in Microsoft, and then you probably won't have heard of the 500th company on the list.
This is more
basically all the
long-term strategy.
You end up investing in all of them a little bit at a time. So if you want to get started with that, all you need to do is sign up to a stockbroker. If you're in the US, you can use Webull. I think I've got a link in the description. If you're in the UK, you can use Freetrade or Vanguard. Basically, whatever country you're in, just Google the phrase best stockbroker platform, your country name, and you'll find something that works for you. And then it's very easy to be able to invest in an index fund. So within our famous side hustle assessment matrix, we're going to give the difficulty of starting a 1-star rating, 1 out of 5. It's very easy to get started with stocks. How hard is it to make $100 a month by investing in stocks and shares? Well, this kind of depends because it depends on the performance of the stock market overall. So in the last 12 months, from 2020 to 2021, the S&P 500 has actually increased by about 50%. That is a lot. It's gone up by a solid 50% despite COVID and everything going on. So if in April 2020 you had invested $2,400 in the S&P 500, the fact that it's gone up by 50% means you would have made $100 a month. But obviously this is not the way to look at it.
The problem is it can also go
The stock
down.
market has different levels of performance depending on what time period you're looking at. But if we average out the last 30 to 50 years, the S&P 500 has had a roughly 10-point-something% return, which means every year on average.
As you're looking to start making money online and start creating passive income online, you want to look for things that you can have more control over. And those are going to involve learning some sort of skill set. So much of the success of investing in the stocks is like outside of your control. It depends on what the market's doing. You have less impact on the success rate of these types of passive income. This is more so for people that have more money than they know what to do with, and they're putting it into the markets to create some small percentage of return over the long period. If you're young, if you're just getting started, you want to learn skills that's going to make you a lot more money than this every year.
Over the long term, it goes up by around 10%. This is not inflation adjusted for any economists among us. And so if we do some back of the envelope calculations, if we want to earn $100 a month passively through stocks and shares, we would need around about $12,000 invested in the S&P 500 to make that 10%, $1,200 a year, which is $100 a month. But as I talk about in that video about stocks, over time we have compounding. And so if you put in $7,500 in the S&P 500 and you left it there for 5 years, then 5 years later you would be making roughly $100 a month if we go by this very average figure of 10% a year. Or if you invested $5,000 in the S&P 500, then 10 years later you'd be making $100 a month in purely passive income, again assuming the 10% average. So overall, how hard is it really to make $100 a month in passive income from stocks and shares? Well, it just depends on how hard is it for you to make $5,000, $7,500 or $12,000 in savings and put them into the stock market index fund. And crucially, this is money that you shouldn't need.
I wouldn't recommend putting in like a few $1,000s into the stock. I recommend investing that money into some sort of skill that you can learn. Invest in a course, invest in a mentor. Go learn a high income skill set. And you also need some money to start some of these online businesses, even though online businesses are pretty affordable to start compared to offline businesses, but you still need money. So if you have 5 to 10 grand, I would invest in investing into a mentor and then investing some of that money into starting some sort of online business that's got a lot of leverage, not stocks.
Touch in the next 5 to 10 years at least. So basically, how easy is it for you to make that sort of money? Obviously varies massively depending on which country you're in and what your circumstances are and what your job is. But if you're in the UK or the US, where the median kind of average salary is around about $50,000, something like that, then again, depending on your circumstances, it's not that hard to get $10,000 in savings. Obviously, if you're supporting a family of 15 people on $50,000, it's different. If you're a single person, again, it's different. But I'm going to give this roughly a 3 out of 5 star rating for difficulty of getting $100 a month. Obviously, if you live in a country like India, where the average
$100 a month is not life-changing. You need a side hustle that's going to make way more than $100 a month. Like, I don't not sure if this is good advice.
Salaries $3,600 a year, it's very difficult to make $10,000 in savings overall. And finally, the third category in our side hustle assessment matrix is how hard is it to maintain this income once you've set it up in the first place. And we're going to give this a 1 star out of 5 because once you've got the money in, you just set it and forget it, and it's not that hard to maintain. There are other sources of passive income that require high degrees of maintenance over time, but stocks and shares is a very easy way to make passive income. And to use my personal example, these days my stocks and shares portfolio, which I've been investing in since 2015, is now worth around about $350,000, and the vast majority of that is in the S&P 500 index fund. Now I can't be bothered to work out the actual inflation-adjusted returns for that, but again, if we assume a very rough average of 10% a year, then that averages out to around $682 per week in purely passive income. All right, idea number 2 for generating passive income is to start a YouTube channel. This is something I will specialize in because I'm here on YouTube, and I actually teach a course called the Part-Time YouTuber Academy, linked in the video description, where I teach people how to do this sort of thing. So let's use our side hustle assessment matrix and we'll talk about this. How hard is it to start a YouTube channel? I'm going to give this 1 out of 5 stars because it's actually very easy to start a YouTube channel. You just go on youtube.com, you click create a channel, and you can upload videos by just filming with your phone and uploading it. In reality, it's a lot harder to make good videos, and making good videos is how you grow on YouTube. But getting started on YouTube is very straightforward. The real question is, how hard is it to actually make real money from YouTube? So again, let's say we want to make $100 a month in passive income. What does that look like? Firstly, to be eligible for monetization on YouTube, you need 1,000 subscribers and 4,000 hours of watch time. It took me 6 months and 52 videos to get my first 1,000 subscribers. And if we look at the averages, it actually takes on average 90 something videos to get to 1,000 subscribers. So that's quite hard. If you're thinking you're going to start a YouTube channel and start making money from day one, that's basically not going to happen. It took me 52 videos, 6 months to get there. So if people message me like, hey, I want to start a YouTube channel, I'm like,
YouTube is a grind because you're competing with thousands of other content creators all over the world. Plus there's X factors involved, like you have to be good on camera. These are skills that you can get good at over time. It's still a really great way to make passive income, but you got to be passionate about making videos, right? You got to be passionate about being on camera, but it's still a great passive income source because you're leveraging media. And when you film a video, this video can go out and make money for you while you're not having to work. This is leveraged income. You spend your time creating digital assets that you own and control that go out there and make money for you every day. I really like building websites and ranking them in Google as my source of passive income, as my source of leverage, because I can dominate niches and marketplaces with way less competition. If I build a local site in Grand Rapids, Michigan, I'm only competing with 20, 30 companies versus on YouTube, I'm competing with thousands of other marketers. It's a way longer grind.
you have to be able to put in the effort and do this for a very long period of time, at least once a week, I say for at least 2 years before you can expect anything in return. But let's say you hit your 1,000.
Our students can start making money like 3-4 months into our program instead of 2 years, right? So this is why YouTube, you really have to be passionate about it. You got to be passionate about what you're talking about. You got to become an expert in a certain niche. Not everybody is going to have that, right? So this is why the success rate of starting a YouTube channel is way less than the local lead generation business.
Subscribers and your 4,000 hours of watch time. How hard is it to actually make $100 a month? On average, the kind of revenue per 1,000 views on YouTube is around about $2. So this varies massively, but let's say on average about $2 per 1,000 views. Therefore, if you want to make $100 a month, you need 50,000 views on YouTube to make $100 a month. Let's say you make one video per week, and let's assume you're not getting any traffic on your older videos. That means every video you make needs to get around about 12,500 views. And very roughly, the average YouTube channel can expect around about 20% of their subscribers to equal the average view count for each video. So on YouTube, if you had 62,000 subscribers, very roughly, very averagely, you can expect 20% of them, i.e. 12,500 views on each video. And assuming you have no evergreen content over the long term, you would need around about 60,000 subscribers to be making $100 a month.
There's another calculation to making more money with YouTube with less views. You have to create your own digital product.
You make $100 a month a lot before 60,000 subscribers. I think I was making $100 a month when I had like 10,000 something subscribers. Like it was fairly early on. But when it comes to assessing how hard is this to do, I'm going to give this a 4 out of 5 stars. It's actually very hard to make compelling YouTube videos, and it's very easy to get started, but it's hard to do well. It's totally worth it. It's a great skill set. It's really fun. You get to meet people across the internet. You get to learn how to talk to a camera and how to film and video edit. And it's really great, but it's very hard to actually make money from YouTube. Finally, in terms of effort to maintain, like actually getting that first 1,000 subscribers is a lot harder than keeping it growing. Because once you've got 1,000 subscribers and once your channel is growing, it means you've landed on a formula that works. And so maintaining it then becomes easier than starting from scratch. And so in our side hustle assessment matrix, we're going to give maintenance of a YouTube channel passive income stream to be right about 2 out of 5 stars. To use my example, I made 70 videos before I started making any money from YouTube AdSense, and these days the YouTube channel makes around about $12,000 a month in passive income from YouTube AdSense. Now again, this is not entirely passive because I keep on uploading new videos, but actually the bulk of the amount of money that we generate from ads is from older videos rather than videos that were uploaded this month. So with that caveat, $12,000 a month passive income is around about $3,000 a week thanks to this YouTube channel, and thanks to you guys for supporting it and all that stuff. There are
I don't know how much subscriber he had. Right now it says he has 3.5 million subscribers. I assume that he made a lot more money on YouTube than $12,000 a month. Maybe he had way less subscribers when he made this video.
other ways of monetizing YouTube, like brand deals and like selling merch and this all other sort of stuff, but it doesn't really count as passive income through YouTube, which is why I'm not including this in this side hustle assessment matrix. Idea number 3 for making passive income is to start a podcast. This is generally easier than starting a YouTube channel, although growing a podcast is a lot harder than growing a YouTube channel because podcasts themselves don't really have a algorithm that's helping them grow. In fact, a lot of podcasts grow by having a YouTube channel, which is kind of weird. Right, so how hard is it to start a podcast? Again, 1 out of 5 stars. It's very easy to start a podcast. Go on anchor.fm and you can literally use your phone and you can pass your phone around between you and your friends and you can start a podcast. You can use a website called riverside.fm that I've recently invested in as an angel investor. Riverside makes it very easy to record remote podcast interviews. It's very easy to start a podcast. But how hard is it to make $100 a month in passive income from a podcast? Again, this is not quite passive income because the way podcasters make money is by relying on brand deals. There is no YouTube AdSense for podcasts. And so you need a sponsorship or a brand deal to make any money for your podcast, generally speaking. And apparently you can expect to make around $18 for a 30-second ad in a podcast and $25 per 1,000 views or 1,000 listens for a 60-second ad. So if you want to make $100 a month, and assuming you have a stream of sponsorships who are giving you that level of sponsorship deal based on your download numbers, you would need around 1,000 downloads per episode if you have a weekly podcast. So you would have 4,000 downloads a month. And if you're putting a 60-second ad in there for $25 per 1,000 views, that would make you around about $100 a month by having 1,000 downloads per episode and 4 episodes per month. This begs the question, how hard is it to get 1,000 downloads per month? Well, it's a lot harder to get 1,000 podcast downloads per month than it is to get 1,000 YouTube views per month, because again, YouTube has so much distribution built in. It's different to podcasts. Also, loads more people are on YouTube than on podcasts. But if you look at the stats, then it's the top 20% of podcasts in the world that get on average more than 1,000 downloads per episode. To use a friend of mine as an example, my housemate Sheen started her own podcast around 5 months ago. There will be a link to that in the description.
To do a successful podcast, you have to be a really interesting person that has a lot of life experience or some expertise in certain category, which is a rare person, right? Or you need to be a well-connected individual that can get interesting guests, which the latter seems way more difficult to pull off. That's a lot to ask for most people.
If you want to check it out. And on average, her podcast gets around about 400 to 500 downloads per episode. This is not bad at all, especially considering she started 5 months ago and had zero audience when she started, so she didn't have the unfair advantage that I did when starting my own podcast, for example. And
again, like he said in the beginning of the video, like making money is about bringing value. Okay, so if you're going to run a podcast, you have to use your mouth and you got to bring value to people using your mouth. So it has to be somebody that has great expertise or some sort of unique life experience.
because she just launched season 2 of her podcast and has just started posting videos about it on YouTube, that will really help the podcast grow. And I'm pretty sure that in the next 6 months, she'll be getting to a point where she can quite easily make $100 a month from her podcast. So going back to our side hustle assessment matrix, starting a podcast, 1 out of 5 stars. Making $100 a month, I'm gonna give that a 3 out of 5 stars because it's hard, but not as hard as maybe monetizing on.
I don't know why he keeps focusing on making $100 a month. That's not really life changing. Let's talk about making at least like $2,000 a month with a passive income. Because my whole goal of passive income since the beginning when I started in 2014 was to be able to walk away from my 9 to 5.
YouTube, where you have this minimum threshold. And finally, maintenance. It's not really passive income because you do have to keep on making podcast episodes because the brand deals are associated with that. But again, once you've stumbled on a formula that works, once you know how to be a podcaster, it's easier to continue going once you've already gotten started, as is the case with most things. And so in terms of maintenance of the podcast, I'm going to give that 2 stars. To use me as an example, so
that's what's really challenging about being a podcast person is like you have to continually produce content every week. If you stop, then your whole brand is going to start to go down. So this is why, again, I like websites because I don't have to continually do stuff to my websites. Once I rank it in Google, they generally stay ranking and they keep making money for me. I don't have to continually pump out content, like trying to come up with fresh ideas for content every week. It's not easy.
So me and my brother have a podcast called Not Overthinking, link in the video description if you want to check it out. And we make around about $625 per week from the podcast overall, from brand deals and from our membership. All right, so idea number 4 for generating passive income is to become an affiliate marketer. Affiliate marketing means that you are selling other people's products, but you're getting a percentage of the sales from those products. Now, apparently, 48% of affiliate marketers globally earn $20,000 a year, which is $1,660 a month, which is actually not bad at all. Like, people are doing very well with affiliate marketing overall. So how hard is it to get started?
Overall, most people are struggling with affiliate marketing. Like, affiliate marketing is very difficult. Like, it's because it's so easy for anybody to become an affiliate marketer. So you're competing with a huge ocean of other marketers trying to promote what you're trying to promote. So getting traffic, getting attention to your affiliate link is the most difficult thing. You need a personal brand. You need a YouTube channel like this guy that's getting traffic. Like, where are you going to get the traffic for an affiliate marketing business? That's like the most difficult thing.
Started with affiliate marketing, I'm going to give this a 2 out of 5 stars. Basically, you can just sign up to an affiliate program like Amazon Associates. So Amazon have their own affiliate program.
To actually succeed with affiliate marketing, I'd give it 5 stars out of 5. It's not an easy business. And also, Amazon Associates is not a good affiliate play because they already cut the commissions for most affiliates. Now you only make 4% of the sale,
which I think is probably the biggest in the world. And then once you have your little special links, you can post those on your website or on Twitter or on social media or whatever. And if people buy the product through your link, or in fact buy any product on Amazon through your link, you'll get like some tiny percentage of the sales. So pretty easy to get started with affiliate marketing. But how hard is it to make $100 a month? Well, this is actually kind of hard. So let's say you had a product that was $50 that you were trying to sell and you were getting 5% commission on it. That would be pretty good. Amazon doesn't offer nearly as much as 5%. It offers like 2 or 3%, something like that. And let's say your average conversion rate, i.e. people visiting the thing versus people actually buying the product after visiting the thing, let's say that's 1%, which is pretty reasonable for a conversion rate. You would need 8,000 visits to your website or whatever to make $100 a month. It's actually quite hard to get 8,000 visits per month to your website, to a specific product page. And generally doing well in affiliate marketing requires lots of upfront effort in terms of either building an audience or building such domain authority in whatever space you're in that you're organically getting traffic. Now, other than Amazon, there are a few other affiliate programs that I'm part of. One of them is Skillshare, who are kindly sponsoring this video. I'll tell you about the sponsor segment later, but Skillshare have an interesting affiliate program where
if you made 5% or 4% on a $50 product, you literally just made a few dollars. This is getting pretty depressing if you're watching this. All he's talking about is creating passive income streams to make an extra $100 a month or making $3 on an affiliate sale on an Amazon product. No, I feel like this guy has the wrong target of a skill set to go after when you're trying to create passive income. To create lucrative passive income that's going to allow you to actually quit your job and change your life, you can't go after these things that anybody can do. You got to go after skill sets that solve a big problem for people. The bigger problem that you can solve for people, the more money you're going to make. You need to create assets or systems or digital things that solve that problem for people without you having to be there. And don't worry, if you're watching this, keep watching, because I'm going to go into my strategy, my business model that's going to allow you to make way more money in passive income than so far, almost halfway into the video, than what he has described so far.
If you refer someone to sign up to a free trial of Skillshare, you can get $7 in affiliate commission just for that thing. So if you wanted to make $100 a month from affiliates, you would need 15 people every month to sign up for Skillshare with your affiliate link thing. How hard is it to get 15 people a month to sign up with your affiliate link? Well, not that hard if you have an audience. And it's not that hard if you have your own classes on Skillshare like I do. I have 9 of them. And so if I want to make money through Skillshare affiliates, I can just tell people, hey guys, I can tell you that, guys, I've just released my latest Skillshare class, Productivity for Creators, How to Start a Successful Side Hustle. So there'll be a link in the video description if you want to check that out. That would be, hopefully some of you will see that. We'll click on that link in the description, and then that will be me getting some affiliate income from Skillshare for this video. So going back to our side hustle assessment matrix, how hard is it to make $100 a month? I'm going to give this a 3.5 star rating because, again, you need
The problem with this video is that all he's recommending are different offers that you can promote, whether it's affiliate or Skillshare or the stocks thing. Yeah, these are just ways to monetize traffic. You can only make money on the internet if you have two things. If you have attention, which is traffic, and you have a way to monetize that traffic. There is the skill side of it, which is you have to know how to get attention on the internet, which is what he's not covering.
Audience. And as we always talk about on this channel, the way you build an audience is by creating useful content, putting it for free on the internet once a week, and doing this for at least 2 years. If you just follow those 3 steps, I guarantee you'll have an audience and you'll be able to make some kind of money through this passive income stuff.
Okay, so what you're talking about is just basically YouTube channel, which is your expertise. You're not talking about how to rank websites in Google, how to do social media marketing, how to rank products on Amazon FBA. So it's this video is truly just kind of one-dimensional. It's only for people that is building a YouTube channel.
But that's quite hard to do. No one sticks to it for at least 2 years, so we'll give that a 3.5 star rating. But the good news is once you've created it and once you've started making money from affiliates, it's actually quite easy to maintain, because especially if you have evergreen content, the sort that isn't relying on current affairs or the latest news, the sort that people might search for over a long period of time, this becomes relatively reasonable passive income. Now, if we look at me and my business, these days from Skillshare, we make around about $11,000 per month in affiliate income, which approximates to around $2,750 per week. And from Amazon, on average, it's around about $450 a month from the Amazon UK store and a little bit more from the US and Canada. All right, method number 5 of making passive income is by selling digital products. Now, these are products that you create once, like an ebook or a download or an app or something like that. So you create it once and then you can sell it multiple.
Yeah, this is going to be one of the more higher profit margins, right? You're going to have 90% profit margin if you create your own digital product, because you create the digital product at one time. There's not much cost. It's infinitely scalable. But again, you need traffic to that digital product, which you either need to start a blog or start a YouTube channel.
Times, because selling digital products doesn't usually have any cost associated with it. One really good example is this guy called Traf, who I follow on Twitter, who made an iOS 14 icon set and sold it for $30 a pop a few months ago, and ended up making, I think, $300,000 in the course of a few weeks, just because loads of people around the world wanted to buy his icon pack. So he put the work into creating the pack, and now he's selling it for lots of money. Another example is my YouTuber friend Olier, who has made, as he says, $700,000 from selling his website Tumblr themes since 2014. So he made the website themes for Tumblr, he sells them, and he makes $700,000 on average overall since 2014. That's pretty...
Well, yeah, it's okay, but the real skill set that most of the people watching this can't duplicate is that these guys are actually good on camera, good at producing video content, good at creating a script for a good video, good at creating a hook, good at creating the marketing message, good at researching the right keywords to go after. These are the skills that these guys actually learned and mastered. That's allowing them to generate the traffic, right? And this is the skill set that if you want to be successful, you have to learn. Either for YouTube, even ranking website, there's a whole skill set involved.
Cool. So how hard is it to get started making digital products? Anyone can write an ebook. An ebook counts as a digital product. So I'm going to give this a 2-star rating, 2 out of 5 stars. But obviously, again, money is an exchange of value. So the thing that you're selling, you have to be providing enough value to compensate, to make up for the price that you're selling it for. And that's often quite hard, especially if you don't have any experience in this sort of field. And how hard is it to make $100 a month? Well, it's very easy to create an ebook, but it's a whole different ballgame trying to get people to actually buy your ebook or buy your icon set or buy your app or buy your website themes. And because the market around this stuff is so competitive, you have to be genuinely really good to get people to buy your stuff. And the way you get people to pay you money for something is that you identify a problem that they have, you solve that problem, and then you charge money for it. And if you can do those 3 things, then I wouldn't say it's easy to make $100 a month, but it's very doable to make $100 a month. You just genuinely have to have something that solves a pain point that other people are willing to pay for. So we're going to give this a 3 out of 5 stars to make $100 a month from selling digital products. And finally, in terms of maintenance, we're going to give this a 2 out of 5 stars because usually you do have to maintain your product a little bit, but it's often easier to do. It's much easier to maintain a product than creating a product in the first place. Idea number 6 for passive income generation is to create an online course. Now, online course is like a digital product, but generally online courses are in video format. In fact, this whole video is so long, it could basically have been an entire online course. Maybe I'll do one about this very topic. And in terms of getting started, we're going to give the starting difficulty a 2 out of 5 stars because it's not that hard making an online course, but generally you do need to know how to do video. So,
You have to have some sort of life experience or some sort of expertise. You have to show some mastery over a skill set. I can't stand people that create a digital course and they're not really that experienced in whatever they're teaching.
You could film an online course on your iPhone or phone, whatever phone you're using. If you're one of those Android heathens, stick the phone on the side, talk to the phone, teach something. So it's not hard creating one. But in terms of making $100 a month, again, at that point, your course needs to actually be good. And the only reason people will pay for it is if the course is actually good. Now, you can avoid having to charge for your online courses by using a website like Skillshare, who are very kindly sponsoring this video. I have tons of classes on Skillshare. I think we've got 9 on them in total. I've been teaching on Skillshare since September 2019. And I've actually just released my new online class called Productivity for Creators, How to Start a Successful Side Hustle, where I teach you the ins and outs of how you can create your own side.
A lot of the things he recommended, I feel like he's promoting as an affiliate. But again, the conversation that's lacking here is you need actually traffic generation skills to pull any of these strategies off.
Hustle in your spare time without quitting your job. If you want to check this out, then the first 1,000 people to click the link in the video description will get 30% off the annual Skillshare premium membership. That's actually a really good deal. I pay for Skillshare. I have been paying it for years, even after I started teaching on it, because it's genuinely a fantastic place to learn stuff. They've got thousands of classes on all sorts of other topics, but you should definitely check out mine, like the 9 that I've got. There are 3 around productivity now, like the fundamentals of productivity, the sort of productivity equation, which is how I think of productivity, and productivity.
I can understand why he has so much like views and subscribers. It's just his energy. He just comes across as like a super trustworthy, authoritative person. So again, you need these kind of X factors to really succeed on YouTube. That's what's so difficult about YouTube.
For creators, I have 2 on how you can study for exams. If you're in school, if you've got exams to prepare for, those apparently are really good. They've got very high ratings. And if you've already had a free trial of Skillshare.
And also pay attention to the background music. It's just this really mellow melody that's playing in the background. Like he knows what he's doing. He's giving you all the social cues that, he's a trustworthy person, like even his glasses and all of that. This is all purposeful.
Share, then you can still use that offer. That if you're one of the first 1,000 people to hit the link in the video description, you'll get 30% off the premium membership, and you can check out my class, which I have to say is pretty good. Anyway, thank you Skillshare for sponsoring this video, but genuinely, Skillshare is a great place to teach stuff because you can teach things on Skillshare without directly having to charge for them, which is why I love putting my courses on Skillshare. It's kind of like having something on Netflix in that the end user does not have to pay directly for the product. And the other nice thing about Skillshare is that it's like...
The problem with Skillshare courses is that there's no community behind. If you join the course, there's no mentorship. Like our program, you actually join a community of 7,000 students. We do live coaching calls every week, twice a week. So that ongoing mentorship and that camaraderie of the community is what really makes the difference and motivates people each and every day to really build this lead gen business. Skillshare, you're unplugged. You're still all by yourself on an island. And it's really hard to stay motivated when you're by yourself just watching videos. It's hardly any different than watching like YouTube videos, in my opinion.
Like the plot like YouTube in that anyone can upload a class to Skillshare provided it meets certain quality requirements. And so it's a lot easier than having to make your own website and create your own courses platform and all that kind of stuff. Pretty easy to start. We're going to give this a 2 out of 5, but how hard is it to make $100 a month from teaching online courses? Now this kind of depends. If you're going down the Skillshare route, then to make $100 a month on Skillshare, you need around about 1,700 minutes of watch time, which is 28 hours.
I don't know why okay, I'm annoyed of this math of what do you need to do to make $100 a month. Who cares about $100? Like it's not life-changing. Like again, it all comes down to how can I generate attention on the internet so I can sell a Skillshare course. Like that should be the only conversation, talking about strategies of how to generate traffic.
Of watch time. So if you have a 1-hour class on Skillshare, you need 28 students to take that class every month and watch it with a premium membership, roughly, very broadly speaking, and that will give you around about $100 a month. At least those are based on my figures over the last 2 years of being on Skillshare. Now, how hard is it to get 28 people a month watching your class? If your class is actually pretty good, it shouldn't be too hard to get 28 people a month watching it. If you have an existing audience, it's very easy to get 28 people a month watching it because people already know, like, and trust you, hopefully, and so they'll watch your stuff and give you a shot because you've already built that goodwill with them. But the nice thing about Skillshare as a platform is that they have their own algorithm, so the good stuff rises to the top. So if you genuinely have a really good class and you put it on Skillshare, then even if you don't have an audience, there is still a high chance that if the class is actually good and people watch it a lot and people recommend it and give it high ratings, it will rise to the top and it will start getting recommended to people who find it on the Skillshare homepage or who search for it specifically.
No, if you just make a course on Skillshare, like you're not going to naturally rank that course and start getting sales. Like you need marketing. You need like a YouTube channel, a blog, something that's going to attract eyeballs from places other than Skillshare that you can use to promote your course. it's very foolish to just assume that you can just put a course on Skillshare and without any promotion, people are going to start buying it.
The other way of making $100 a month from a course is to just charge $100 for a course. And then if you do that, you just need one sale every month. So how hard is it to get one person a month to buy your course? Again, if it's good, the one online education is exploding so much. Every year more and more money is being spent on online education, especially with the whole pandemic stuff. So if you have a valuable skill that you can teach, I think courses are one of the best and one of the best ways of making passive income, because it's fun to create a course. You can teach stuff. You don't need that many technical skills like making a website or anything like that. Just shove it on Skillshare, and then people can take your course and learn on the internet, and it's just cool overall. And the nice thing is that once you've made the course and once you're making $100 a month from it, maintaining that level is actually quite easy. We're going to give that a 2 out of 5 stars, because generally you don't need to update the course that often, and you can do that once in a while, and you just need to make sure you're getting a reasonable amount of traffic to it, and hopefully that traffic will grow over time. These days, the vast majority of my online courses, at least the very passive ones, are hosted on Skillshare, and it's ridiculous, but these days they make around about $60,000 to $65,000 per month in purely passive income. Like, I literally do nothing for my Skillshare classes once I've made them, other than reply to comments and other than occasionally plug them in videos, and that's $60,000.
Wait, what do you say again? Okay, 60,000.
Passive ones are hosted on Skillshare, and it's kind of ridiculous.
Okay, so this is his main money maker. Is
purely passive income. Like,
course.
I do nothing for my Skillshare classes once I've made them.
That's why I said like digital courses is like the highest profit margin, 95%. So it doesn't surprise me that he's making most of his money selling his course. This is essentially what we do as well.
Other than reply to comments and other than occasionally plug them in videos, and that's $60,000 a month in passive income.
But it's not easy for a beginner to pull off. Like he grinded years to build this YouTube audience to be able to pull that off, right? So this is why I still, for a beginner, building a local lead gen site in your local market and getting leads for small businesses is the most achievable way to create legit passive income, so you can get to 10K a month, 15, 20K a month of passive income, quit your job and start living the laptop lifestyle. And then you can dabble with other things. But
that means this is around about $15,000 per week, and this makes up the bulk of the $27,000 a week that this business currently generates in purely passive income. Idea number 7 for passive income is by creating some kind of paid membership or community model. Now again, this is generally a bad idea unless you have an existing audience, which we keep coming back to. Like, everything becomes easier when you have an existing audience by creating content that has been valuable over a long period of time, very consistently. That audience knows, likes, and trusts you, and so when you say, hey guys, sign up to my Patreon, then some people are likely to do that thing. The other way of doing a membership is by creating a value proposition that is so compelling that people will be willing to pay for a community-like service for this. If we use Patreon as an example, my friend Hannah Witten, who's a YouTuber, she's got around about 600,000 subscribers on YouTube, and I think she has around 600 patrons, 626 last time I checked, which means if we look at her Patreon stats, which are public, she's making somewhere between $2,000 and £5,000, or like $3,000 and $7,000 per month in passive income from this audience. But it's 600 people out of an audience of 600,000. So 1 in 1,000 of her subscribers have signed up to her Patreon. So clearly, if those stats are true across the board, and they are if you look at Matt Diavalla's Patreon as well, you need a big audience to make a significant amount of money from Patreon. Again, this sort of depends on how much you're charging for them and exactly what value you're providing. Another example of a paid membership community is my friend Anne Lore, who runs
it's not the most passive thing, because with Patreon, you have to continually produce exclusive content for Patreon. And 600 people, $3,000, I can build one website, rank it in local, and make just the same amount of money. And it'll keep making that money month after month, and I don't have to keep working at it. I don't have to keep producing content for it. My sites have, from 4 or 5 years ago, still making me money to this day, and I haven't touched those sites in years.
A website called Nest Labs, and they have a paid membership community, which is $5 a month. And she started this, when was it? In summer of 2019. She had 0 audience at the time, and she just wrote 100 blog posts over 100 working days and built up an audience, such that in March 2020, when she launched a membership, she had some paying members for it initially. And I think last month, she's just passed $100,000 a year in annual recurring revenue, which is pretty awesome, from something that started less than 2 years ago. So how easy is it to start a membership program? It's actually very easy. We can give this a 1 star, because it's very easy to start one. You just make an account on some kind of membership platform like Patreon.
I'm not thoroughly impressed with this video, 7 ideas of passive income by this guy, because most of these ideas are only for YouTubers. There's a lot more other ways to make passive income on the internet that doesn't involve YouTube, okay? Namely digital marketing and selling like physical products. So I can't believe it. We're already 25 minutes into this 30-minute video and he hasn't even discussed other online business models, which is understandable. He doesn't have other experiences like online business experiences. He's a YouTuber. So all he's talking about is like how to monetize YouTube traffic.
But to make $100 a month, you need to provide $100 a month worth of value. And that's actually quite hard to do. We're going to give that a 4 out of 5 stars. But the nice thing is, again, once you've got that formula, once you're making $100 a month, it's actually a lot easier to maintain it, because the way the economics of membership communities work is, provided you keep showing up and providing value in some capacity, people have already signed up for the thing, so it's not too hard to maintain that level of support that you're offering them. For this business, we have a membership community for our part-time YouTuber Academy for the alumni, which is called the Part-Time YouTuber Inner Circle, and we make roughly $2,800 a week from this membership community. It's not very passive. We run like 3 or 4 events per week, along with twice a day co-working events on Zoom, and we have lots of stuff going on, so it takes a lot of work, but $2,800 a week is pretty good for a membership community. All right, nearly there. So in my opinion, that's way too much work for that amount of money
for every week. I'm sorry. That's too much.
Number 8 for generating passive income is creating a business that sells goods or services and then automating or delegating aspects of that business so that the income that you generate from it is reasonably passive. This is the stuff that Tim Ferriss talks a lot about in the 4-Hour Workweek, where there are a lot of businesses that you can make where you're selling a good or selling a service, and then you can delegate, outsource, automate in intelligent ways to make the income passive. So again, using my friend Oliver as an example, on his YouTube channel, he talks about his $1 million Shopify store. He designs, manufactures, and sells these really cool vegan leather kind of desk accessories and bags and mouse pads and that kind of stuff. And this was loads of work in setting up, but now he's got a team of 3 other people that manage the business. And so he spends proportionally less of his time running that business. And so it's passive income for him, even though these days he still does spend around 10 hours a week maintaining things. Equally, if you're going down the service route, I've got a friend who runs Instagram.
Okay, so finally he's starting to cover other online business models.
I'm a Facebook ads marketing agency where he has clients who pay him some, I think, a few $100s per month to manage their Facebook and Instagram ads. And for him, it's like a small amount of work initially to set up the Facebook and Instagram ads, but then it's automated.
You can tell he's not very knowledgeable about these things because he's like breezing through them without talking about the pros and cons of each of these online business models.
And he's got a team around it, and he's using things like Zapier to automate aspects of that business so that each month he has to do a very small amount of actual work to keep it ticking along. So these are different ways of generating passive income from a kind of good or service-based business, but it's quite hard to get started with this stuff. To get started, we're going to give this a 4 out of 5 star rating because, again, you need to create a business, and it's quite hard to make a business that genuinely...
The harder something is to start, actually, the better it is long term. You don't want to start things that's too easy for everybody to be doing because you're going to be competing with so many people. It's so easy to start, so many people are doing it. You actually want to start a business that has higher degree of difficulty because that is a business. Once you master that skill, you're going to be able to dominate. There's going to be a lot less people doing that thing. So this notion of to start a passive income thing because it's the easiest to start, that's a fallacy.
Provides value. Equally, we're going to give it a 4 out of 5 star rating for making $100 a month in revenue because, again, you have to be able to provide value. And providing value is hard. Like, it's not as easy as making an account on a stocks platform, just putting some money in. You actually have to give value to people, which is kind of hard. But the nice thing is once you get started, like with anything, maintenance.
The best way to learn how to provide value is to learn from somebody very experienced, get a mentor that's going to teach you actual skill sets that solve problem for people. That's how you learn a skill, and then you can provide value to people. You got to go learn some shit.
This is a little bit easier, so we're going to give that a 3 out of 5 star rating. Finally, idea number 9 for generating passive income is to build an app or a website or some kind of software product that you can offer either as a one-off or more likely these days as a subscription service. And there's a whole category of this called SaaS, software as a service. Now, if you look at the website indiehackers.com, there are like literally hundreds of examples of people who have built software businesses that are making passive income, and they share the revenue numbers and they tell you how they got started and they give you their tips. In fact, I was recently interviewed on an episode of the Indie Hackers podcast, which is really cool because I've been listening to it for years and like been following the website for years. And I was interviewed around the concept of starting an online course like the Part-Time YouTuber Academy. Now, I've had a bit of personal experience with this. So when I was at university, I made a website called BMAT Ninja and UK Cat Ninja. So software as a service, it was a question bank for medical applicants applying to medical school to help them do well in the admissions tests. And this was something that me and my brother coded completely from scratch. He and I both know how to code. We learned when we were young. And so we worked over the summer of 2015 to make these things happen. I think in year 1, we made about $10,000. And in year 5 last year, it was around $25,000 from BMAT Ninja. It's pretty good money, but it was a lot of work to set these things up. And so in terms of starting out, I'm going to give this a 5 out of 5 star rating because to make an app, it's actually quite hard. You have to know how to code for the most part. You have to be able to offer something compelling and you have to actually build it, which takes a lot of work and is very hard, but it's a lot of fun. And then once you've made it, I'm going to give $100 a month difficulty a 4 star rating because again, it's easy. Well, easy enough. You can make an app, but then getting people to pay for the app is an entirely different kettle of fish. So we're going to give that 4 stars. But the nice thing is, like with everything, maintenance is a little bit easier. So we're going to give that a 3 star rating. If you like this video and you want to get started with your own entrepreneurship passive income generating journey on the internet, check out this short playlist over here, which is some of my favorite videos that I've made around tips for entrepreneurs, how I got.
All right, he didn't get into the website aspect of it. So app, obviously it requires high levels of technical skills to pull off like passive income with app. But another way that I've been saying throughout this whole video is to leverage websites to make passive income. Again, I have local lead generation sites that I rank in local markets for local services. That's my #1 recommendation for passive income. I also have a blog, but a blog is much more difficult to pull off as a beginner because with a blog, you're competing with marketers all over the world. In local lead gen, there's so many cities that you can go into: Dayton, Ohio, Anaheim, California, Sacramento, California, Austin, Texas. You can go into all these different markets where you're only competing with like 20 to 30 local companies. So this is why it's much easier to pull off a local lead gen business. Yeah, in closing, the key things to understand about passive income is to understand that in order to make money on the internet, you need attention and you need a way to monetize that attention. So you need to create leverage, right? And you need to leverage either media or code. This guy is making video content every week, every day. I don't know, I'm not sure how often he uploads, but each video that he creates, he's leveraging himself, right? Like really making a clone version of himself. That piece of media can go out there and make money for him while he's not at his computer. So that's a form of leveraged income. Another way is like I'm doing, building websites like these, where I spent maybe 15 hours on building and ranking the site, but this site has made me $2,000 every month since 2015. So that's $2,000 in 1 year. The site makes me $24,000, and that's pretty much 95% profit margin. And over the last 8 years, if you times that by 8, this one site has made me $192,000 from this one site, and I spent maybe 15 hours on it total. So if I divide that 192 grand by 15 hours I spent on it, $12,800 per hour, okay, activity. So that is what I'm saying when I'm talking about leveraged income. Now, full disclaimer, not every site's gonna make 2 grand a month. Our students make anywhere from $500 to $2,000 a month. But the point is, if you're working a 9-to-5 job and you got 40 hours that you're dedicating to that job, but you want to one day walk away from that job, whatever free time you have, such as building a website or filming video content, things that are leveraging media and code. And if you just remember that and start honing in and focusing on that with your free time, that's how you're going to be able to change your life financially, become financially independent, and be able to create true passive income. But understand that the media and code that you're creating in that free time, you want that media and code to be giving as much value as possible or solving the biggest problem in the marketplace as possible. Like a local lead gen site solves a big problem, because without this site, my business owner would go out of business. Because of this website that's ranked in Google is the only reason my business owner is able to pay his bills. This is what gets him the customers, right? And without these customers, they don't have a business. So I'm actually very important for his business. I'm solving a huge problem for that business. So this is why I get paid very well. I hope you liked this video. And yeah, if you want to learn more about our coaching program of building these kind of websites, local lead generation, click on the link in the description, and I will talk to you guys soon.